Hello there everybody, and I'm here today because we're going to do some computing this term. Now usually if we were in school it would be much easier to explain, but I'm going to give it my best shot and hopefully we'll be able to get some computing done this term. So today we're going to start off with some different pictures of the planets. So I have got some different pictures which I'm going to show you in a minute, and then we're going to think about what directions we would give to move between these two different planets. Okay, so hopefully you can see the pictures of my two different planets. We've got a picture of Earth, and then we've also got a picture of the moon. Now, I'd like you to start off by thinking, how could I travel from planet Earth to the moon? What directions am I going to have to go in to get from planet Earth to the moon? So I'd like you to pause the video and think about how we're going to get from the Earth to the moon. Okay, so hopefully you've had some time to think about some of the different directions that you might give to travel from the Earth to the moon. So in terms of what we're going to do today, we're going to be looking at using these 4 different directions here. We're going to be thinking about how we would direct somebody to go forward, backward, left, or right. So if we go back to our pictures, what direction do you think we would step in first? If we're starting on planet Earth, we might decide that we're going to start stepping forward. Sorry, you can see that Rocco's here and he'd like to join in. And then I can see that the moon is to the right of me. So I'm going to turn right, and then I'm going to step forwards until I have reached the moon. Let's see if there's another way that we could do it. How about this time if we started on planet Earth, we turned right and we walk forwards, turn left and walk forwards again. I have reached the moon. So there are different ways that we can get from the Earth to the moon. But this time, I want us to think about it in terms of how many steps we might need to take. So what I'd like you to do is you can either draw your own pictures of the Earth and the moon, or you can print them off from what I've put on the website. Lay them out in a space. Doesn't have to be laid out the same distance as mine, but lay out the 2 planets, and then I'd like you to have a go at giving directions either for yourself or maybe somebody else about how you're going to get from the Earth to the moon. You might want to practice walking it like I did. But I'd also like you this time to think about how many steps you're going to take. So counting how many steps forwards might you need to take, how many steps backwards, how many steps are you going to need to take. And I want to make sure that you're using forward, backwards, left and right as you explain. Now, an easy way to remember our left and right is if you hold out your left hand, it makes the shape of an L, and that is how we can remember our left hand. So that will help you when it comes to giving your directions. So pause the video, lay out your Earth and your moon, and see if you can have a go at giving yourself or somebody else some directions. And don't forget to say how many steps. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you have had a go at giving some directions from how to get to from Earth to the moon. And when we're thinking in terms of computing, there is a special word that we use to explain this set of instructions. And in terms of computing, that word is algorithm. Can you have a go at saying the word with me? Algorithm. Algorithm. And all an algorithm is a simple set of instructions, but we have a special word in terms of computing. So an algorithm is a set of instructions which we are programming or telling somebody to follow. So we have created an algorithm for how to get from the Earth to the moon, and we have done that by using directions such as forwards, backwards, left and right. Okay, so this time you might have noticed that I have added in another planet, and that is planet Mars. So this time we're going to come up with another algorithm, a program or a set of instructions from how to get from Earth to Mars. But the trick for this one is we have to visit the moon first. So we can only go to Mars once we have visited the moon. So I'd like you to either add your picture of the moon or your printed picture and Mars, and I'd like you to now lay all three of these out on the carpet in front of you. And you're going to have a go now at coming up with an algorithm for how to get from Earth to Mars, but you must go to the moon first. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at coming up with your own algorithms. Now I'm going to show you how I would get to Mars from planet Earth. So I'm going to start on planet Earth, and I'm going to start by taking 1, 2, 3 steps forward. I'm then going to turn right, and I'm going to take 1, 2 steps forward. So I've now got to the moon, and we had to go to the moon before we could get to Mars. I'm now going to turn right and take 1, 2, 3 steps forwards, and I have reached Mars. Hopefully you came up with your own algorithm for how you could reach planet Mars. Okay, so next we're going to use this knowledge of an algorithm and the different directions that we use for the planet, but we're going to transfer that knowledge to something known as a programmable toy. And this is something that we use in computing, and we can put in an algorithm to make the toy move. So this here is my programmable toy. It's a car, and you can see that there are some different buttons on my programmable toy, and I'm going to talk through what some of these different buttons mean. So here is my programmable toy, and today we're just going to focus on the different arrows that we can see here. So we can see our forwards, right, backwards and our left arrows. So to start with, we need to turn the programmable toy on, and usually you'll find this on the bottom. I'm just going to switch them across, and we can see that it has now turned on. Oh, so I also need to turn the battery on soon, but anyway, I'm just going to press clear from all of the other algorithms that have been placed in. So when we start with our programmable toy, we want it to just show main. This means that no algorithm has been put into the programmable toy yet. So we're starting fresh. So if I pressed go, nothing would happen because no algorithm has been put into the programmable toy. So pressing go, there's nothing there, so the programmable toy doesn't know what to do because I haven't told it what I'd like it to do. So we're going to experiment with what I can get the programmable toy to do. So I'm going to start by just pressing forwards, and we can see that it shows forward by FD. That means forward. So now if I press go, it will move forwards and then it will stop. Then if I press left, I'll bring my programmable toy back. This time it's going to go forwards and then left, because the really important thing to remember when we put our algorithms in, that is the order that it's going to happen in. So it's going forward, and now it's turning left. So I have put an algorithm into the programmable toy, a simple set of instructions telling it what I would like it to do. So this time I'm going to clear it, and I can do that by pressing clear once to get rid of the first one and clear again to clear everything. This time I'm going to put in a set of instructions, but I'm not going to show you what I have asked the programmable toy to do. So what your job is, you're going to watch the programmable toy move, and you're going to write the algorithm that you think I put in the programmable toy. So I'm going to press go. Remember, you're watching what it's doing. Okay, so what algorithm do you think I put in the programmable toy? Pause the video and think about what algorithm. So hopefully you noticed that the car went forwards, it turned left, and then it went forwards again. So that my algorithm was forwards, left, and forwards. So I'm going to clear it again this time, and I'm going to put in a new algorithm for you to then write down. Okay, so pressing go. Oh. Okay, thinking about what algorithm did you notice the car did this time? Just going to do it again because I think you got a bit stuck. There we go. Pause the video and see if you can think about what algorithm I put into the Probot. Hopefully then you noticed that the car started by going backwards. It then turned right and then it went forwards. Let's see if we can do one more for you to guess. Okay, so I've moved the Probot into the kitchen as I think it's getting a bit stuck on the carpet. So okay, so hopefully you noticed that the Probot went right, it turned right, it went backwards, forwards, and then it turned left. So your job today might be, I know you won't have a Probot at home, but you could write an algorithm and perhaps you could then test it out yourself by moving in these different directions. Or you could write an algorithm for somebody else and then they need to follow your algorithm. So there are lots of different ways that we can practice doing these at home. So have fun experimenting and I look forward to hearing what you have been up to.